everyone. My name is Stephanie Kidd. I'm a math consultant here at KVEC.
And I'm also a math consultant here at KVEC. My name is Vonda Adams.
Now, Mr. Will dropped off some wonderful red bags for you guys, and if you have those red bags, please get those out. And inside those red bags, you should have had your book, and you will probably have had this little bag. And it's got all kinds of different stuff in it. There are some things that you're going to need from your teacher. One, you're going to need a sheet of paper. You will need a pencil. And you will need some glue. And it can be this kind of glue or it can be the other type of glue. I'll get it out of our bag. And you will need some tape. So we've got two different types of tape here. Either one will work. So I'm going to give you just a few minutes to try to find those things. Like I said, some tape, some glue, sheet of paper, and a pencil. So take just a few minutes to find those things, and then inside your bag you're going to see that you have some cardboard. We're going to make a box out of that. And you should have a little bitty project that we're going to be working on. It's a little wooden project. It's got a little horse on it, and you may see a rainbow, and it's going to be a wind chime. Also inside your bag you will find these little hearts. Put them over to the side. And in that bag you will find colored pencils. Now, if you have a special color that you like to use, crayons, markers, whatever, you can use those. You do not have to use the ones that we provided, but it would be nice if you need them, they're there.
And some of your colors may not be the best of colors. We did our best because we were sorting out lots of different baggies. So if there's colors in there you don't like, then by all means just use something else that you've got.
Exactly. Now in your book you're going to actually be turning to page 111. So in your book turn to 111. And this is make a gift basket. Now this is the page, like I said, that you'll be turning to. It's 111. We chose today to actually, instead of make a gift basket, we're going to make a gift box. That's why you have the cardboard in your container. And it doesn't have to be a gift basket.
No.
It can be a gift cup. You can have a teacup in which you give out things. So keep that in mind if you're doing a gift basket for someone. And like we said, we're doing this for seniors, and we chose seniors for a reason, but it doesn't have to truly be a senior. We chose this because of the pandemic that's going on and things, and our seniors have been kind of shut in. Now what we mean by shut in means they can't get out, or they're not able to be around a lot of people, and so they're lonely right now. So for this, we want to make sure that these people understand that we do love them, that we're out there, we think about them, those kind of things. So that's the reason we chose to do a project for a senior.
So they're going to be your recipient. Remember, that's the word that you learned earlier. Recipient is the person who's going to receive this gift. And it not necessarily have to be a senior, even though mostly it's seniors that are shut in because they're the ones who really have to be very careful with this virus more so than anyone else. But it could be someone who is not really healthy, or they're compromised, their health is compromised, so they've also had to keep themselves shut in quite a bit too. So you may have someone like that in mind that you know, or an elderly person that you know. But we want you to kind of at least think of one person that you might want to be your recipient of this gift that you're going to make today.
And take just a second to think about who that person may be. Now the reason we chose to do boxes again is these are easy to put in a mailbox, and they will be easy for you to sit on someone's porch, because like I said, we still may not want to go around these people due to the fact that, you know, we don't want to carry in a virus or anything like that. But you can leave these on the porch, you can leave them in their mailbox, and at that point, you know, and maybe even knock on the door and let them know they've got a package there. But this will keep you safe and them. So the box that you have, first of all, let's get that out and look at it. So if you get your box out, go ahead and turn your box like this. You're going to kind of just flatten him the other way, and he's going to make a very pretty square. We had to bring some math in on this.
Yeah,
So
we're the
here's
math
some
girls,
squares.
by the way.
You're going to make a square, and at the top, what I want you to do is you're going to look at the top here. You will take the sides here, and you're just going to fold them in just a little bit. You might want to mash them down a couple of times.
Yeah, I think if you work them back and forth a little bit, it may be easier to get them to stick. You know, we learned that from the last time, that it helps to get that tape to stick.
And it kind of sounds like a scratching noise when you do that. And then, so you got these two folded, right? You can see this vertical line here in the center between the two. Now you're going to take the top and the bottom, you're going to fold those down. Now you've got a horizontal line. And we are going to do across the horizontal line right now a piece of tape. Miss Vonda's going to put that on there. And a piece of tape that is vertical.
So you may need a partner to help you tape if you're having trouble getting it.
So this is a cross.
Tape pulled apart and stuck on your box.
We created a cross. Well, you really can't see that well because it's the clear tape, but it's there.
We just crisscrossed it to get it to hold.
So take just a few minutes and go ahead and do that. So your box will sit up like this. We're going to talk about different kinds of gift boxes that you can make, and Miss Vonda and I had talked earlier about some different gift boxes that we have made in our career time, and one of the ones that I talked about I like to make was for the soldiers, and we also made cards for the soldiers, so that's something that you can do for them. Another gift box that you may want to consider is during this time of flooding, people may need things like toothbrushes, toothpaste, they may need brushes, hairbrushes, they may need shampoo, deodorant, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But also, if you're making a gift box, consider, and if you're considering putting food in it, consider the time of year, because if you put chocolate in there.
Yeah, you have to think about it. If you want to put food in a gift basket or a box or a bag or whatever you choose to put it in, you have to think about that. Will it be able to withstand where you put it at, the temperature or the weather, the rain or anything like that, because possibly it could get wet. So you need to think about things that what we call non-perishables. Those are things that don't ruin easily. So think about that if you want to include food in your gift boxes or gift bags.
Okay, so now that you've got your box kind of put together, we're going to move on. You can get out this wonderful, it's in a little package. Just get one out because you're going to continue with this a little bit later. You actually have enough materials to make two, but we're only going to do one at this moment, and then when we finish up, you're going to finish up the second one. So in your box, you'll find two of these. Just get one out and open it up. Now, this is our actual project. It's a wind chime. And the reason we chose to do a wind chime is, one, it's spring. And spring is a wonderful time of the year to have wind chimes out because you can hear them. And I think this one's a very pretty wind chime for spring because it's a rainbow. That helps too, because we see rainbows a lot in the springtime. And it's one of those things that for our seniors that they can put outside, they can listen to, and when they hear that, it reminds them that someone loved them and gave them a wind chime.
Right. What I love about wind chimes is that, like Miss Stephanie said, when we hear them, not only when we see them, but when we hear them, it reminds us that somebody thought enough about us to gift this to us. And so that's why it's important for you to really think about somebody that you think would really appreciate a gift like this. Because they're going to remember who gave it to them, and they're going to appreciate the fact that you thought of them.
Okay, so just kind of stretch this out real neatly on your desk, and you're going to have it kind of flat, and we'll kind of lean it against here so you can see. And you're just going to color, of course, the little unicorn and the rainbow, and you can choose whatever colors you like to color those. You know, you're making this pretty for somebody, so if you know the colors that they kind of like, if you're giving this to a grandparent or maybe a special aunt or someone, that you can color these whatever color that you think they would like. Now remember, we said you have some of these wonderful pencils in your box, but you do not have to use those. If you have some special pencils that you like to use, or some crayons or markers that you would like to use, please use those. That's okay too. But decorate these and put your name on the back. On the very back of it, put your names. That way the person you give it to will always remember who it came from.
And not only the name, but put the year on there. Put 2021, because they would like to be able to remember when this was given to them as well. And I'm so glad, I've taught school for a long time, and at Christmas my students lots of times would give me ornaments as gifts at Christmas time, and so I'm so glad that I wrote their name on it and the date. So whenever I get them out each year, it's a nice reminder of who gave me that gift and when that was given. So that's always a nice thing to do when you're giving a gift to someone too, is to date it as well.
Okay, so some other things that we can talk about that you can put in a gift basket if you're giving them, of course, flowers, but make sure that person's not allergic to them. And then letters and cards, and that's another thing that you're going to do today. So the reason we ask you to get a sheet of paper is, of course, you can make a card real easily with a sheet of paper. So of course we fold it in the center, kind of, we call it hot dog style.
That's a hamburger, Miss Smith.
Hamburger style, I'm sorry. So hamburger style, and then we fold it again. When you fold it like this, you've got a nice little card. Now, you do not have to, you can write something on the front of it. It can be as simple as, hope you're having a good day. It could be as something as, we like seeing you.
Thinking of you. Or just draw them a nice picture.
So, just a pretty picture on the front. You can do a picture on the inside and just sign your name. Like I said, just a simple card that you can put down in here. Now, the thing we realized about this box is that the card's a little bit bigger than the box is when we fold it, so you'll have to fold it probably again, or Miss Vonda made it.
Just roll it a little bit.
Just roll it and then stick it around the side. So you can do that. So that's another thing that you can do for your inside your box. And like I said, put your name on the inside of it, because this is really important for them to be able to have that little card that goes along with it.
Of course, name and date that too, so they can hang on to that.
Yeah, because we like to hang on to sentimental things and things that are important for us. So, of course, books are great for our seniors if you wanted to do a project for them, especially those word find books or those search word books that they have. And those are pretty cheap. You can get those at the Dollar Tree. Another thing that they like is... I
mentioned my father loves puzzles, and so a puzzle's a great gift for an elderly person to work on.
So things like that. And then, of course, Miss Vonda talked earlier about maybe doing a documentary if they are willing, but making sure they're willing.
Yes, when I was a student a long time ago, I was assigned a project to do, and so I chose two of my neighbors I was supposed to video and just talk about the way it was whenever they were children. And so I had my big old camera, because it was a long time ago, and I videoed them talking about what it was like when they were students and when they were young boys and girls. And it was a couple, and they were in their late 80s, early 90s probably at that time. I don't remember exactly, but it was a great way to hang on to what things were like at that time. And in social studies, that's referred to as a primary source, because they lived it and they were telling it. So it's a great resource that I had to share with other people. And then, of course, once they passed away, then I handed that down to their daughter, and she really loved the fact that I had that. So, like Stephanie said, if they're willing to let you do something like that, then by all means, that's a great way to do that. And to be quite honest, this couple was so flattered that I wanted to capture their memories. And so more than likely, they'll be willing to let you do something like that.
You're going to get a chance to do this twice, and you're going to get a chance to make somebody two people feel happy. Because, or feel that, you care about them. So you've got two projects to be able to do that with.
Yeah, let me share with you right now what happened earlier. You all know we did this session this morning as well. Well, we had a young lady who was working on hers, and we asked if anybody had questions or had anything they wanted to say, and we're so glad that she had her teacher to unmute, and she shared with us that while she was working on this, that this made her feel really good. And hopefully that's how you all are feeling. Hopefully you've got this person in mind that you're going to give this to, and you're feeling really good about doing a good job at this, and you're thinking about how much they're going to love it and enjoy it once they receive it. So I thought that was awesome that she shared that with us. So hopefully that's the way you guys are feeling too.
Because many times when I give a gift, it makes me feel better than even receiving a gift, because I know that it made them happy.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're finished with this, what you're going to do, and like I said, you're going to put it down in your little box. So you're going to put that in your box. You're going to put your little card that you made down in your box, because we're going to kind of go ahead and do some other stuff here. But you're going to put that card down in your box too. And then on top of that, you have these little tags. Do you see those in your... You've got a little name tag. Should have 2 of those at least. You might have 4 in your thing. And you're going to write that person's name on it. Why is it important that we write that person's name on it that you're going to give it to? Does it not make you feel good when you walk in of a morning and your teacher goes, "Hey there, Miss Vonda"?
Yeah, it's nice when people remember your name.
It is nice. And so putting a name on there makes you feel good. Makes them feel good. So find out their name, put it on there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it over again, just the way you did earlier. These 2 in, these 2 down, and you're going to need 2 more pieces of tape. Okay? So you'll put those 2 pieces of tape on it, so it's all sealed up. And then you're going to pull one of these off, and you're going to stick it on here somewhere, just with their name on it, okay? Another thing is, you have in your bag these wonderful little hearts. Now this is where the glue comes in, okay? You're gonna take those hearts, and on the back, not the color side, but on the back, and you may have more than 3. Then just use 1, or just use 1.5, or maybe you use 2 on one and 1 on the other. You're gonna put the glue on the back, and you're going to put it on your box. So if I put it on my box, it looks like this. See how pretty that is?
I like that. And of course, if you want all the other sides to have something, you can always color on there. You can try to do a nice drawing, or if you have stickers that you have already, you might want to add stickers to it. So you decorate it the way you'd like to decorate it, and of course, keep that recipient in mind, that person that you're going to be giving it to. What you think they might like.
Now, another thing is, if you don't want to rattle around inside your box, we have some tissue paper here. You don't have any in your box, but you can make some.
Sure.
And you can fold up a piece of the tissue paper and stick down in there, and it won't rattle around anymore.
Newspaper's good for that too, if you can find newspaper.
Or just some old scrap paper, to be honest. Just to crunch it up and stick it in there. If nobody has any questions, Miss Vonda's going to wrap us up.
Yeah, so let's just review what we've talked about today, and we'll go all the way back to when Miss Chastity and Mr. Doug was with you all, and we'll talk about just exactly what a service project is. And of course, service project to me, the word serve is what I think of when I think of service, because the word serve is the root word of service, and serve means to do something for others. And that basically that's what a service project is. It's doing something for someone else, and we're not expecting anything in return. We're not expecting to get paid for it. We're not expecting them to give us something back. It's just what we're giving to others. But the cool thing about a service project and participating in that is that we do get stuff back. What we get though is probably way more valuable than getting paid or receiving some kind of object or some kind of gift back, is that it makes us feel good about what we've done. So we call that an intrinsic reward or intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic means it makes us feel good inside. So first, mainly, that's the great thing about participating and being part of service projects. And then of course there's other things, other benefits of it. It really works on building character, being a good person. It helps you with leadership skills. It helps you with organizational skills. It helps you to build relationships with other people. So you network, as Doug likes to call it, where you get to know other people. And then, of course, you have volunteer hours and that you could put on a resume. And like Miss Chastity talked about what a resume is. That's just really putting down all the good things about yourself. So that definitely is a good thing to let people know if you're wanting to get a job. And of course, like I said, the most important thing there though is that good feeling that we get from doing it and doing it for others. And then of course they talked about how to do that. And of course if you want to look back in your book, you can look on page 7. It begins telling all the different steps of how to do that. And they led us through how to do a cleanup project because of all the flooding that we've had here recently. And of course of all, to me the most important step in developing a project is to think about something. Of course there needs to be a need for it, but you also have to have a passion for it. You have to want to do it. And of course when you form that team, you want to find people that also have that same passion or same desire or same want to do the goal that you're setting for yourself and for this project. And of course they talked about when we finish up with our project, we also have to think back about what was good about this project and what could we have done better. And we do that as teachers. We do that, like Stephanie and I, we sat down after we did it the first time this morning and thought of another thing that we needed to do to make what we do for you all better. So around here we call that glows and grows. The glows are the good things that we think we did well and things that went really, really well. And the grows are those things that we need to work on to make it just a little bit better. Because we can always do something a little better. There's always a grow, something that we can improve upon. So, we'll leave you with one last thought. In your book, on page 4, it talks about possibilities. So on page 4, it says, imagine the possibilities. It says, according to and down there in the blue section, according to the most recent U.S. and Canadian census. Now, a census is something we just went through last year. A census is when they want to know how many people live in your household. And they get a count of everybody in your house. They count how many lives in your community, how many lives in your county, how many lives in the country, and the state, and in the country. So, according to the census, and this was done back in later than 2009 because that's when this book was written, there was about 50 million kids between the ages of 5 and 17 that lived in the United States and Canada. 50 million. That means there's even more today because the earth is more populated today than it was 12 years ago. So, 50 million kids. Now, if 50 million kids did one act of kindness, that would be 50 million acts of kindness. But you know what happens when someone does an act of kindness? Like when someone does something kind for me, you know what that makes me want to do? It makes me want to do something kind for someone else. So hopefully that's what happens with other people. You have 50 million kids who do an act of kindness, and then we have 50 million other people who want to do an act of kindness for others. So it just continues to multiply. So we have all these great acts of kindness that are going on.
And that's kind of like a pay it forward.
That's a pay it forward. That's exactly what that's like. Whenever someone does something good for you and you want to turn around and do the same thing good back for someone else, that's called paying it forward. So our hope is that you will use this book and what we've talked about here today, and you'll find something that you're passionate about, and you will create a project. It doesn't have to be a big project. It can be a small project. And that you will think about the acts of kindness that you can pass on to others.